December 19th, 2024. Daily Bread. Passage: Ezekiel chapter 46, verse 19 to chapter 47, verse 12. Key verse: chapter 47, verse 12. Title: The River of Life. Then the man brought me through the entrance at the side of the gate to the sacred rooms, facing north, which belonged to the priest, and showed me a place at the western end. He said to me, "This is the place where the priests are to cook the guilt offering and the sin offering and bake the grain offering, to avoid bringing them into the outer courts and consecrating the people." He then brought me to the outer courts and led me around to its four corners, and I saw in each corner another court. In the four corners of the outer courts were enclosed courts, 40 cubits long and 30 cubits wide. Each of the courts in the four corners was the same size. Around the inside of each of the four courts was a ledge of stone, with places for fire built all around under the ledge. He said to me, "These are the kitchens where those who minister at the temple are to cook the sacrifices of the people." The man brought me back to the entrance to the temple, and I saw water coming out from under the threshold of the temple toward the east, for the temple faced east. The water was coming down from under the south side of the temple, south of the altar. He then brought me out through the north gate and led me around the outside to the outer gate, facing east, and the water was trickling from the south side. As the man went eastward, with a measuring line in his hand, he measured off 1,000 cubits, and then led me through the water that was ankle deep. He measured off another 1,000 cubits, and led me through water that was knee deep. He measured off another 1,000, and led me through water that was up to the waist. He measured off another 1,000, but now it was a river that I could not cross, because the water had risen and was deep enough to swim in, a river that no one could cross. He asked me, "Son of man, do you see this?" Then he led me back to the bank of the river. When I arrived there, I saw a great number of trees on each side of the river. He said to me, "This water flows toward the eastern region and goes down into the Arabah, where it enters the Dead Sea. When it empties into the sea, the salty water there becomes fresh. Swarms of living creatures will live wherever the river flows. There will be large numbers of fish, because this water flows there and makes the salt water fresh. So where the river flows, everything will live. Fishermen will stand along the shore, from En Gedi to En Englaim. There will be places for spreading nets. The fish will be of many kinds, like the fish of the Mediterranean Sea. But the swamps and marshes will not become fresh. They will be left for salt. Fruit trees of all kinds will grow on both banks of the river. Their leaves will not wither, nor will their fruit fail. Every month they will bear fruit, because the water from the sanctuary flows to them. Their fruit will serve for food, and their leaves for healing." Daily Bread Message. The end of chapter 46 describes the back of the temple, facing west, where the priests cooked the sacrifices. There were also ovens in each of the corners that served as kitchens. The temple was orderly and functional. It shows that the sacrifices were done far away from the front entrance, facing east, where the prince entered. Everything gave glory to God and centered around him. There was no more corruption, nor turning God's house into a den of robbers. Chapter 47 describes the river of life, flowing from the temple's south gate, from the altar, and around the front by the east gate. From there, it flowed deep and wide and turned the world into paradise. This vision reveals God's glorious hope for all creation, to be restored to the Garden of Eden. We need to have this hope in our hearts, to steer our life direction, to live for God's kingdom. Where is your hope? Verse 12 says that the life-giving water from the river would bear all kinds of fruits, which would serve for food. Also, Their leaves would provide healing. What a beautiful vision! No more hunger, no more suffering or pain. Praise Jesus. Prayer. Father, thank you for giving us real hope to worship you in paradise. Please give me this glorious hope in my heart today to direct my life. One word, a glorious hope for paradise to be restored.